Shalom, family. Welcome back. Uh, I trust everybody had a great Shabbat, uh, as expected to have. What's not great about it? Family, a subject resurfaced again, which this individual had did some years ago, and it's very disturbing, and it's not biblical nor spiritual, has nothing to do with the Most High, yet they insist on teaching it. Now, I don't have to call them out by name. Any of you that's been on YouTube a while, you pretty much know who this individual is. But it's the subject of this pineal gland. And they're teaching it as spiritual truth. And it's not. It's not even biblical. You won't find it nowhere in the scriptures that the pineal gland has something to do with spiritual enlightenment. That's some of that Eastern religion stuff and Egyptian, doctrine, like the Eye of Horus and stuff like that that's on the back of your $1 bill. The pineal is a gland. It's an endocrinal gland, okay? It controls body functions and things like that, and hormones, pretty much like your thyroid gland does. It has nothing to do with you being spiritually enlightened, okay? See, that's some of that stuff where people take the lotus position and, call themselves in a meditative trance, if you believe that, then you might well start doing chakras and everything else, Now, everybody that I saw in the comment section didn't agree with it, In fact, they talked against that kind of teaching from somebody who should know better. But the way they get people to accept it, they gaslight people. Gaslighting is when you can convince people that what's true and what they actually believe is not. You put them in doubt. And we don't have room in this day and age, close as we are to the return of Mashiach, to be in doubt about nothing. Okay? And so, in order to get you to do it, they'll put it out first. Well, I know that some of you people who are not enlightened won't understand this. Well, see, they put that out there in a manipulative way because they know that nobody wants to be known as not enlightened. So then you'll sit there and listen to that stuff and halfway start believing it because they mix in a little spiritual talk with it. Well, Satan does the same thing. He mixes in truth with a lie. So, no, we have to avoid those kind of people. Family, it's dangerous. They're trying to get you to count on some gland in your brain as a source of enlightenment, when we know full well our enlightenment comes from the Ruach HaKodesh, the Most High Spirit itself. If we were able to open and close, as they say, our pineal gland, then what we need with Mashiach? As far as that matter, what do we need with the Most High? If we were able to be spiritually enlightened on our own, we wouldn't need him. But we wasn't able to. This is why he had to send Mashiach to enlighten us in the way of the truth. The Most High's word is light. It's not something you just, oh, I'm going to meditate with my pineal gland and I'm going to be spiritually enlightened. No, you thinking just like these Illuminati people think. And a bunch of other religious cults. See? So no, I'm going to speak against it. See? Family, you'll find out I'm not afraid to speak against nothing. See? I'm not in no clique. You know, it's certain teachers, you know, they all kind of hang out, you know, together and believe the same thing, so they're part of a clique. But see, I'm what you call a maverick. I don't have a clique. Now, I have a handful of individuals that I listen to on YouTube, but I'm not part of no clique. I'm alone. I'm a maverick. See, because I'm not going to change what truth is from the scriptures just to get along with some other teachers. I'm just not going to do it. I could care less what they think. See, I put it myself in the same light as Marshall. He didn't care what nobody thought. You know, he was going to speak truth and light to everybody, whether it hurt their feelings or not. Look how many times he hurt the Pharisees' feelings. He didn't care about how they felt about him. So, family, we have to get out of that just because you like somebody as an individual that you'll sit there and listen to any kind of garbage come out their mouth and start changing what you really know is right. And what you believe, you're getting gaslighted. In other words, brainwashed. Don't let anybody start deterring you from what you know is right. Okay? And we're going to prove it like we always do. See, I can prove what I'm saying, but they can't, because you will not find nothing in the scriptures. Nowhere. I don't care if you got the Dead Sea Scrolls. You will not find nothing in scripture referring to no pineal gland as a source of enlightenment. You just will not. It is an endocrine gland. It controls different functions of your body, such as your sleep pattern, your hormones. It is not an eye, as they claim the third eye. I think when the Most High created us, we only had two eyes. You know. So let me go to the scripture of where they try to make this fit as proof of a third eye or pineal gland or something like that. See, they go to Matthew chapter 6, verse 22 and 23. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? See, they use this as to try to connect this with the pineal gland, the third eye. See? Just because it says eye. Well, you can say the word eye and it still mean both of them, or plural. Like if I was to say, you know, the eye is the most amazing thing that, you know, on the body. Well, I'm talking about both eyes. But I just said the eye. Because we know we got two. See, and that verse, if you look it up yourself, in the concordance, it would be G 3788. And the definition of it, it has two. One, it say the eye, which we know that's the physical eye. And number two, it says metaphorically. People, the Bible is full of parables, metaphors, similes, similitudes. It's full of them. Full of metaphorical statements. And that's what that is. That's a metaphor. That definition says the eyes of the mind, the faculty of knowing. Well, that's a metaphor, family. It's not talking about no physical pineal gland. When your eyes are open, that means you are spiritually in tune. You are awake. And you get that through the word. Through the Ruach HaKodesh. If you try to be enlightened any other way, if you try to climb up any other way, the scriptures say you're as a thief or a robber. And that's what this individual is doing, teaching you to try to obtain spiritual enlightenment some other way other than Mashiach, which we know he is the light. So let's just go through scripture for right now, family, and expose this stuff for what it is. It's a lie. It's man-made doctrine. John, chapter 10, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbing up some other way, the same is as a thief and a robber. Well, who's the door? Mashiach. They say if you try to climb up any other kind of way, you're the same as a thief and a robber. In other words, you're listening to this Eastern religion stuff about a third eye. See? Don't let these people get you messed up, family, with this cultish belief. First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. But the natural man receive not the things of the Spirit of Yah, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. See, you trying to attain something through the natural. In other words, the carnal way of thinking. This is why I always say, family, when you go in the scriptures to study the scriptures, do not try to understand any of it with carnal thinking. You understand it with a spiritual mind. That way you'll get the benefit of the scriptures. You're not going to understand something trying to think of a scripture in a carnal way, or a worldly definition, or worldly meaning. It has to be spiritually discerned. Romans chapter 8, verse 5 through 10. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. See, you go around believing all this old third eye crap. It say to be carnally minded is death. We've already been instructed how to obtain the light, the spiritual enlightening. We've been told. So why would you let somebody else tell you it's another way? First verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. For it is not subject to the law of Yah, neither indeed can it be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. Verse 9. But you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. If so be that the Spirit of the Most High dwell in you. Now if any man have not the Spirit of Yahushua, he is none of his. Verse 10, and if Yahushua be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. See, that's how we obtain spiritual awakening, spiritual enlightenment. It's through the word, family, and obedience. Our people didn't go into 6 different major captivities because their pineal gland was closed. They went in it because of sin, disobedience, being hard-headed, stiff-necked. Had nothing to do with no pineal gland. What did the Most High say? Oh, well, I'm going to have to put them in captivity because they let their pineal gland close. No, it's because they disobeyed him. See, they knew the truth, but they just wouldn't do it. They didn't need no gland open. They knew the truth. They knew what they were doing. They knew they were disobeying the Most High. So, okay, after he put them in captivity, after they've been in there a while, they cry out to the Most High, and he gets them out of it. So what happened? While they was in captivity, all of a sudden their pineal gland opened up again. Oh, okay, we can see now. And the Most High looked down and said, oh, okay, I see their pineal gland is open, so let me get them out of this. So we must have done that then 5 or 6 times over then. Because every time he got us out of one captivity, we did something else. So I guess that pineal gland kept opening and shutting, huh? That third eye. Please, give me a break. Galatians, chapter 1, verse 8 and 9. But though we, or an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which you have preached unto you, let him be accursed. Verse 9, as we said before, so say I now again. If any man preach any other gospel unto you than that you have received, let him be accursed. That means any YouTube teacher, myself, anybody teach anything other than the truth of the scriptures, let him be accursed. Search the scriptures yourself, folks. See if you can find any reference to a pineal gland and its attachment to your spiritual awakening. Now, the human body has 9 endocrine glands. 9. And they all work together to make the body and its organs and metabolism, it works all together to keep you functioning right. And so we try to eat the best diet we can, to keep our body healthy. They come up with all kind of sayings about these pineal glands, Has nothing to do with the Most High. At all. Joshua, chapter 1, verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Does that sound like the pineal gland? Where you have to meditate, using your pineal gland. No, you meditate on the Most High's word. That's what he talking about, meditate. He ain't talking about none of this Eastern religion stuff, meditating like you can make something happen. Because you do that kind of spiritual meditation. You're in your little lotus position and doing chakras and all this other foolishness. This is the kind of stuff that got us in trouble with the Most High. Doing after other people's customs and religious practices. That's what got us in trouble, and it gets us in trouble today. If you listen to people like that, about this pineal gland mess, put you right back in spiritual captivity, folks. Let's go to Psalms, chapter 1, verse 2. But his delight is in the law of the Most High, and in his law does he meditate day and night. It tells you what to meditate on. The Most High's word, his laws. See, you don't have to do all that other stuff. Just meditate on the Most High's word. That's your enlightenment. Folks, when any of us came into the knowledge of the truth, was it because all of a sudden your pineal gland opened up and you saw the light and you started abiding by the Most High's law? Or was it the Spirit of the Most High entered into your heart and you accepted the change? See, even though we say we're enlightened now, we can change that overnight. We can go right back to being what we were. All we have to do is start rejecting the Most High's word and you're right back where you were. Ain't got nothing to do with opening and closing no pineal gland. We can either choose life or death at any time. And the Most High will let you. See? Quit listening to these folks. I don't care how well you like them, how big a following they got. Don't listen to that mess. And if they want to come at me, they can, because I'm well prepared with the scriptures. I'll shut them down in a heartbeat. Just try me. Psalms 119, verse 48. My hands also will I lift up unto thy commandments, which I have loved, and I will meditate in thy statutes. Again, that's the meditation you do. See, has nothing with you sitting down trying to activate some kind of pineal gland so you can be enlightened. It's really sickening, folks, for somebody to even teach that. They're teaching you to go against what you know is right. And the words say, let them be accursed. Acts chapter 26, verse 18. To open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan unto Yah, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. That's when your eyes is open, family, when you accept the truth. When you accept the truth of the word through Mashiach. That's when you become enlightened. Family, without the Most High's word in our life, we're in darkness. Okay? There's no light in us. As far as the Most High is concerned, you might be still walking around here breathing, but to him, you're spiritually dead. You're in the dark. You're living in darkness. Only his word brings light. Ain't got nothing to do with no pineal gland. Once again, when you accept his word and live by it, it brings light. You start seeing things different. The things you used to see carnally thinking will take on a whole different meaning when you got the light of the truth through the Ruach. Ephesians 5:8. For you were sometimes darkness, but now are you light in the Most High. Walk as children of light. See, we were once in the darkness, but when we accepted the truth, when the Spirit of Yah came into our heart, we became children of the light. Once again, no gland involved. See? First John, chapter 1, verses 5 through 7. This then is the message which we have heard of him, and declare unto you, that Yahuwah is light, and in him is no darkness at all. Think about that, what that verse just said. The light, the Most High is the light. Verse 6 says, if we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. Verse 7, but if we walk in the light, as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another. And the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, his son, cleanses us from all sin. Family, do not stop believing what the scriptures say. This is the written word of the Creator. Do not listen to a flesh man concerning how we obtain spiritual enlightenment or awakening. It's through the power of the Ruach. Isaiah 35, verse 5. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. See? And that's metaphorically speaking. It's not talking about an actual blind person. It's the spiritually blind it's talking about. And the ears of the deaf, the spiritual ears, meaning you are able to hear the word and receive it. Meaning your ears are open. That's a metaphor. Just like it was when they used that verse to try to claim something about an eye. It was a metaphor. The Bible is full of them. Metaphors, analogies, similitudes. Let nobody play you like that, family. Matthew 13:13. This is Mashiach speaking about why he speaks in parables. See, Therefore speak I to them in parables. See, because his disciples said, why are you always using them parables? He said, because they seeing, see not. And hearing, they hear not. Neither do they understand. What he's saying there, I mean, they can see. Physically, they see. But spiritually, they don't see nothing. See, because these people haven't accepted the word yet. So they can't see or hear spiritually. So Mashiach taught in parables, and them that was spiritually in tune, that was accepted of his teaching, they would understand what he was saying. But those who still living in darkness wouldn't understand one word of it. And we know that by the Pharisees. When he spoke things to them, they thought he was saying something else. See? Because they tried to live totally by the law. But spiritually, they were dead. So they didn't understand none of the things Mashiach was saying. Let's go to John chapter 8, verse 12. Then spake Mashiach again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. Family, that has nothing to do with your pineal gland. I've searched the sites, quite a few of them, from neurosurgeons. These are people who deal with the brain, well educated in the brain. They all say the same thing. The pineal gland is an endocrinal gland, just like your thyroid and your thalamus and other glands, your pituitary gland, adrenaline glands. They all have a function concerning the body. All right? Don't have nothing to do with you being spiritually enlightened. That we have many people, especially black people, who created things like the computer and stuff like that. Very highly intelligent people to be able to do something like that. So using their example, then them people's pineal gland must be open. No. See, because they are spiritually dead. I mean, you can be the smartest person on earth and be spiritually dead. Because you haven't accepted the light of the gospel, the truth. Has nothing to do with you being smart. See? Let's go to Acts chapter 2 and I guess verses 1 through 4. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, and began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance. Now, did it say they were sitting around in one accord, and all of them were sitting there meditating, opening their pineal gland, and that's when they were able to start speaking in other languages? Is that what it sounds? Or do it say the Ruach HaKodesh came down to him, like as cloven tongues of fire, and they began to speak. And they spoke as the Spirit gave them utterance. See? Nothing to do with no pineal gland. Everything to do with the Most High Spirit. John, chapter 16, verse 13 through 15. Howbeit, when he, listen closely, family, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. What knowledge is greater than that, family? What knowledge is greater than that? Had nothing to do with no pineal gland, had everything to do with the Spirit that the Most High gives freely to those who want it. John 14, 26 through 31. But the Comforter, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things, and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. Verse 27, peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. See, the Comforter, which is the Ruach, will guide you into all truth, family. It's not another truth that you can hear from man. It's greater than that. Trying to get you to obtain spiritual enlightenment, through another means other than the Word. That is unbiblical, unscriptural. You will not find it in the Scripture. Don't listen to these kind of people. See, they're going to lead you down the wrong path. And this late in the day, family, it's the wrong time to be led in the wrong direction. You don't want to be in the wrong direction when Mashiach returns, listening to some of this heresy. Let's find out some more about how this wisdom comes, family, so we can just be clear. Let's go to 1 Kings and chapter 3, verse 7 through 13. We're going to talk about Solomon now, okay? Verse 7. And now, O my Elohim, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father. And I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. See, he's saying, I don't know nothing. I don't have no wisdom like that. Verse 8, and thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people. This is what Solomon is asking the Most High for. That I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this, thou so great a people? Verse 10, listen to this. And the speech pleased the Most High that Solomon had asked this thing. See, the Most High was pleased because Solomon was saying he wasn't asking for no worldly stuff and all that. He was asking for wisdom, enlightenment. I mean, if we could do it ourselves, if we can sit down and open our pineal gland and meditate and get enlightened and all that, why would he need the Most High to do it for him? Verse 11. And the Most High said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast thou asked for riches for thyself, nor hast thou asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. The Most High said, okay, because you didn't ask for wisdom and stuff, and you didn't ask for no riches and things like that, it pleased the Most High. See? Family, if you just ask the Most High for wisdom. Family, how do I understand the scriptures? Because I ask the Most High for wisdom that I will understand the scripture. See? I couldn't do that without the Most High Spirit. Because some things I read sometimes be difficult, and I have to pray on and ask the Most High, well, show me what this scripture is really saying. And he does. I ain't sitting there in no lotus position trying to open up no damn pineal gland. I just simply ask the Most High to show it to me. Verse 12 says, behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. 13, and I have also given thee that thou did not ask, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. He said, and I'm going to give you the things you didn't even ask for. I'm going to give you riches and honor, and, I'm going to make you the most wisest and wealthiest person around just because you didn't even ask me for it. You asked me for wisdom, and it pleased me that you did that. Let's go on to 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 29 and 34. And the Most High gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, and all the wisdom of Egypt. Verse 31 says, for he was wiser than all men, than Ethan and Ezrahite, and Heman, and Chalcol, and Daughter, the sons of Mahol. And his fame was in all nations round about. And he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. See, that's how much wisdom and knowledge of spiritual things that Solomon had, which he received from the Most High. 33, and he spake of trees, from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall. He spake also of beasts, and of fowl, and of creeping things, and of fish. And there came of all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon, from all the kings of the earth, which has heard of his wisdom. Smartest man on the planet. All because he sought wisdom from the Most High. Not some Eastern cultic stuff. See? What does Mashiach mean when he say, I'm the light of the world? He was claiming that he is the source of spiritual life. No other source of spiritual life, of spiritual truth, is available to mankind. You know? He said, I'm the light of the world, not your pineal gland. You know? And, you know, those who perceive the true light are never walk in spiritual darkness. He is the true light. You know? He said, I'm the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Just by following him. Just by following him. You know, like when you take a candle into a dark room, it gets rid of the darkness. So when you take in the light of Mashiach, then the darkness leaves. Now you are spiritually awake. You are spiritually enlightened. And it wasn't because you sit down and try to open up something that don't open and close anyway, because it's a gland. It secretes a chemical called melatonin, which controls a lot of your body's functions, like your sleep pattern, things like that. See? Let these folks just shoot something to you and you treat it as doctrine, as truth, and it's nowhere to be found in the scriptures. You know, physical light is necessary for physical life, you know. But you need, spiritual light is necessary for spiritual life. Two different things. You know, if you follow Mashiach, you won't be living in darkness. That's just the cold, honest truth of it. You know, undeniable. So, family, those people who's trying to get you to seek enlightenment, salvation, or other things other than going through the door, which is Mashiach, because he is the light, the same is as a thief and a robber. There is no other way, family. If man was capable of enlightening himself spiritually, then we wouldn't have needed Mashiach, would we? If we could do this ourselves. We had 6,000 years to do this right and couldn't do it. See? Man has been doing things his own way for a long time, and he's still incapable of obtaining spiritual enlightenment that is of the Most High. So, family, I'm going to shut this video down. I'm done with it. But those of you who know the people or persons that's teaching this junk, reject them. Just flat reject them. Okay? All right, family. Till next time. Shalom.